What's up, fantasy friends? I hope you all had a great weekend filled with food, other things, and some playoff football that was not all that great. I mean, the average margin of victory was 19 points in the best game of a 4-game slate, but there were some entertaining things that happened. The $72 million man Brock Osweiler did something big for the Texans. They won. But Matt Stafford's middle finger might be the blame after the Lions lost to the Seahawks. Anyways, let's dig into some winners and losers in the wildcard games. From partying in Miami to dropping more than just dollar bills on Sunday, Odell Beckham Jr. may not be a loser in Justin Bieber's eyes, but he is in many others. OBJ just couldn't find the end zone, but he did find a perfectly good wall to punch after the game. And he also reportedly found a beautiful door to slam his head against after recording his second fewest yards in any game of his career and a career-high 3 drops, one being in the end zone. You know, if this was a bar, 28 shots of Hennessy would be a solid for the boys. But when it's 28 yards on 4 catches in the playoffs, it's like partying on a yacht with 30 topless, not invited Eli Mannings and his kids. So I'm just gonna leave you with that image. But seriously, it kind of seems like Eli needs OBJ, like Robin needs Batman. And when Batman takes the night off, it's just messy. So next time, if there is a next time, invite Eli to your team outing. Okay, Odell? Anyways, sorry about the loss, OBJ. Sorry about your head, and sorry about the loser spot on my list. But don't worry, what happens in Miami will stay in Miami, unless it's on social media. Well, the Giants had 99 problems, and Aaron Rodgers was like 10 of them. Honestly, his performance might give Olivia Munn more competition than Rodgers will have facing Dak Prescott and the boys next week in the divisional round, because Herb was an absolute stud in this one. The Hail Mary King did it again. His performance might even be better than the 15-year anniversary of Britney and Justin's Jean-on-Jean outfits at the Golden Globes. He was lights out, 362 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. In fact, he's been hotter than Hansel in his last 7 games, 70% passing, 19 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's good, to say the least. And there's always a first for something. This time, it was Rodgers becoming the first player to throw 4 touchdowns against the Giants in a playoff game. That is definitely a problem, New York. Anyways, stay hot, Rodgers. Stay hot. Another guy the Pack might also want to stay hot is Randall Cobb. After a lackluster season, Cobb had a standout day. He was held out of many plays early, but after Jordy Nelson went down with a rib injury, it was a different story. He was on the other end of that Hail Mary, and he did tie an NFL record with 3 touchdown catches. In fact, with his 116 yards yesterday, he's the first player with 100 rec yards and 3 scores in a postseason game since Rob Gronkowski in 2011. Not bad for a guy that recorded one 100-yard game during the regular season, that game also coming against the Giants. Well, speaking of superheroes before, 2 guys that were on the same page as their team were Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. The deadly duo basically covered all of the Steelers' offense. In fact, in the first half, Brown and Bell were the only Steelers players to touch the ball multiple times. And they finished with a combined 298 yards and 4 touchdowns. Bell, playing in his first career playoff game, now owns the Steelers' single-game rushing record in both regular season and postseason. Now, there were some losers in the Steelers and Dolphins game, and that included anyone involved in concussion protocol. Matt Moore took a massive hit to the head by Bud Dupree, rolled around in pain, missed 1 play, and then came right back in. It's very surprising that the Dolphins could rule a concussion for Moore and get him back on the field in a time it took to run just 1 play. That is brutal. Unfortunately, the Steelers also had to deal with something off the field. Outside linebacker coach Joey Porter was arrested outside a Pittsburgh bar hours after the Steelers' 30-12 win over the Dolphins and was later taken to jail and charged with a few different assault charges. That is not good. Anyways, that's it for me, fantasy friends. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. And for those of you who don't know what HotRoster is, go check it out. Go to HotRoster.com, download the app, give it a try. It's like no other fantasy game you've ever played. Then for some help winning the game, check out HotRoster today with the Raging Redhead Cam Stewart and Gary and Thorne. Every weekday at 4:30 Eastern, only on the Fantasy Sports Network. For HotRoster Now, I'm Carrie Oehm.